Hi, this is Ariston. So today I will show you on how you can configure your network using VMware. Okay, so here I have opened my VMware and I have two open operating systems here. One is Windows 7 and one is a Windows Server 1008 64-bit. We will be first installing ADDS. So let's go! So what is an ADDS? ADDS stands for Active Directory Domain Services. It is the core functions in the Active Directory that manages users and allows system administrators to organize data uh, into logical hierarchies. So we would say that ADDS is the high ranking among all the services. Without ADDS, you cannot install other services. So let's get right to installing, shall we? Okay, so today I'll teach you on how you can install an ADDS in your VMware. So let's get right to it. So first we will have to go to add roles in the initial configuration task. So click add roles and you just quick click next. Uh, Next, we will click on ADDS, which is what we want to install right now, and just click next. Click next, and finally install. So let's just wait for a while. Okay, so now that it is done, you can already click close, and you can check your roles. So here we have Active Directory Domain Services. So now that we have finished installing ADDS, the second thing we will be installing is DNS. So let's go. DNS stands for Domain Name Services. So this is an application service that translates address into a more recognized and memorable name. So let's get right to installing. Enable for you to install a DNS in your VMware. So we will have to use an administrator's account. I logged in my administrator's account earlier, so all I have to do right now is click start, choose run, and type in TC promo, and just click on next once you reach this platform right here, and click next once more. So we will choose between the two. Since you want to create a new DNS, you will have to create a new domain and type in the name that you want to have for your domain. So I'll just type in and click next. So while we wait, now that we have reached it to this platform right here, we will choose the desired version of our operating system. So I used this Windows Server 2008. It's by choice actually. Click next, and here once more we will click next, and we'll just click yes on that, and just click next, and we'll enter a new password. We'll type in our password. So I'll just use the password I used earlier for my administrator's account. Click next, and we'll just click next and check the reboot on completion, and we'll just have to okay. So now that it is done, the device will start restarting. So why does it have to restart? the device needs to restart so it can apply the changes that we have made on this computer right here, such as this virtual computer per se. Okay, so now that restart is done, uh, let's proceed to the next installation. Here we already have a DNS server. So if you haven't seen the DNS on the initial configuration task, I'll just provide a picture right away. So here it is. Now that we have finished installing the DNS, next thing we are going to install is DHCP. So let's go. What is DHCP? DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. It is a network management protocol and it is used to automate the process in configuring devices among IP networks, and this allows them to use the network services such as DNS, NTP, and any protocol that uses communication. Without further ado, let's get right to installing. Enable for you to install a DHCP, you will first have to open your initial configuration task and go to Add Roles. Just click on Next, and we will choose the DHCP server, which is right here, and just click Next. Um, After that, we will highlight this IP address that I created earlier. Highlight that, click Next. And the next thing we will have to do is to validate our IPv4 address. So if that one has a check mark, it is a success. So it says there it is valid. So we'll go ahead and click on Next. After that, just click Next. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to click on Add and type in our scope name. So the scope name I'm going to type is my program I am taking is information technology, and my starting IP address is 92.168.101.10. We cannot use 254 anymore since that is already taken. And yeah, next thing is the ending IP address. So type in 192.168.101.20. This is the number of PCs I want to join in this server that I'm creating right now. So the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, and our default gateway is optional. 192.168.101. And before we click on next, be sure to highlight that and click on next. So we will disable this PV6. Yeah, just because I used a IPv4 address, so we don't want that one having let's say a conflict. We don't want having conflicts among our connections. So yeah, just click on next. We are using our current credentials here, and we'll just click on next. Be sure to double check everything before clicking on install. And now I will install. Now that the installation is done, you can go ahead and click close. So here we already have our Active Directory domain services, our DHCP server, and our DNS server. So now that we're done installing DHCP, next thing we are going to install are the file server and the print server for our VMware. So let's go. So to install a print and file server, I'll go to add roles and just click on next on the following. So choose print and here, yeah. So this won't need any restart of the device. So we chose to, and after that you can click on next. Okay, click on next. So I will choose right here the file server resource manager. So this is for the file. Okay. And then I'll just click on next. Check on local disk and click on next. And we are ready to install. Okay, so now that the installation is done, you can click on close. So as you can see, we already have a complete set of roles. Now that we have done installing print and file services, we are now ready to perform a remote desktop connection. So let's go. A remote desktop connection is a client application that allows a client computer to a host computer. So from one remote location, the user can control and use the application and files on the host device from anywhere actually. So enable for you to perform a remote desktop connection. So you must enable it to connect to another particular device, such as here in VMware, I allowed the connection from computers running any version of remote desktop. So yeah, I'll just click OK, and we'll do the same thing on Windows 7. So go to the start button, right click on computer and go to click properties. So this will bring you to the control panel and the system of the computer, and go to change settings and click on remote, and as well do the same thing as we did on Windows 2008. So click OK, and I will perform a remote desktop connection on the administrator's computer. So here I have to click this, and I will input the IP address of the um, administrator's IP address right here. So I'll connect. I'll use another account. I'll type in administrator and its password. So just click on yes, and we are logged in as our administrator. So I'll just create a new file right here. Say I want to put on type in that, and I'll go ahead and type in a notepad. Oh, good morning, and save that. And as you can see, as we log out, go to our 2008, I'll log in a password, and there it is. We are still open, and there you have it. That is how we perform on a administrator's account. So here I'll perform a remote desktop connection by using a client's computer. So I'll click on start and remote desktop connection. So my client's computer has the same IP address as the administrator, so I'll just connect, and I'll use another account, type in, and yeah, I'll just click OK since I didn't put a password there, and I'll just click on yes. So here I am logged in my client's account, and I will create another file, and go to notepad, and I'll type in good morning, leave a space there,
Save. So if we exit, and if I log in to my client's account, here we have it. So that is how to perform a computer remote desktop on a client's server.